All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Dare County Board of Elections. Today is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024, and I'd like to have everyone join me, if you will, in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Today we have a new member to swear in, Rick Kittrell, and I'd like to welcome the clerk of the court, Dean Tolson. And you guys want to go ahead and get where you need to be. Thank you.
Do you have your own Bible that you wish to use? Okay. All right. If you'll hold that for him. Mr. Kittrell, if you'll put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Richard Kittrell,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution
that I'll support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I'll be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I'll be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
that I'll endeavor to support,
and I'll endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States.
and that I will well and truly execute,
I will well and truly execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of the member of the Dare County Board of Elections
of the members of the Dare County Board of Elections
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability
and according to law,
and according to law.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Dean.
Mr. Chairman, I present to you your newest board member. If I get your signatures right here.
All right.
Sign here and sign there.
All right.
Rick. Sign this one here too.
All done.
Thank you.
And we're really happy to have Rick join our board. I've had a chance to meet him at a coffee shop and just talk about personal things, get to know each other a little bit. He's going to be a great addition to this board. He's eminently qualified to be here and will help us in every way, I'm sure. Some of you know that we've had some recent turnover with Mr. Ken Buchanan, who is ill and had to resign from our board, and we will miss him greatly, especially his undoubtable spirit, and we wish him well with his current situation and his health. A very good man. We also have a new addition to our staff, and she has come in as our deputy director. And I'd like Kelly, our director, to go ahead and introduce her now, if you would.
So to my right is our new deputy director, Rebecca Mann. She started August 5th, and we're very happy to have her. She has 25 years of service with Dare County. She has worked in few other departments, so she brings a lot of knowledge and skill. And also, she is a lifelong resident of Dare County, so she has raised her family here. So she is very invested in the community. So I think that she will be an asset, not just to the office and the workload, but also to the voters of Dare County. And so we're very happy to have her. We're excited to bring her into our family and be part of the team. And I know that she'll do well and she'll help us be successful. I also, since Emily Lewis is here, I want to introduce her as well. She has also been with the county for a little while, and she came from the tax office, but she got a new position under general services as an administrative specialist. And for most people in Dare County, they're known as the floater, and she's going to be an asset to us as well. So we're hopefully we can have her come and work with us as needed when she does have other duties and she will work for other departments, but when she is available, we have put a word into HR that we love to have her anytime. She brings a lot of knowledge with computers, and so I think that she'll be great to work with us as well. And her name is Emily Lewis, so we're happy to have her too. And also, I just wanted to formally welcome Mr. Cottrell. Thank you for joining our board and filling that need. And I'm excited to have a full board. We're missing Randy, but Skip and I talked, and we're very happy to have a full board. And I know we're going to work well together. So I'm excited to move into this election cycle with all of us.
Welcome, Rebecca and Emily. Rick, do you have anything you want to say?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. I have one thing that I wanted to mention that's really important to me and probably to anyone who's been on this board in the past. Last week, the chair of this board, the previous chair prior to me, Sandy Siemens Ross, passed away. And I just wanted to say that how much she meant to Dare County citizens and to our community, and how much I know she loved Dare County. She had worked in her career as an investigative reporter and was the managing editor of the Outer Banks Sentinel. She knew virtually everyone in the county. She lived in Stumpy Point, and she served on this board for 4 years. Was it 4? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Maybe even longer. She may have done a couple of terms. I apologize.
Yeah, she was a great help to me in acclimating me to how the board worked and the landscape and the context that we operate in. And for that, I'm most grateful. And this county, Dare County, will surely miss her and miss her voice in the future. So our best wishes to her family, to her kids who are adults, and her grandchildren. And I want everybody in her family to know that she'll be missed. So, all right. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes for June 11th and June 24th. We did not have a meeting in July, and we had a little bit of downtime, which is unusual, but we had it. And so if the board members accepting Mr. Kittrell have looked at those minutes, we can approve them one at a time if you have any corrections or additions, or we could do both of them at the same time, whatever your preference is. Are you all comfortable with? You've read them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes for June 11th and June 24th, please.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second? Second. All right, you're on the spot. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for June 24th and June 11th. Is there any other discussion or any questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, the minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the resolution of the Dare County Board of Elections regarding delegation to staff of preparatory steps for absentee ballots in the November 5th, 2024 general election. And this is something that is routine. We do this every election, prior to every election, and it must be done by a specific calendar date prior to the date of sending out the first absentee ballots. So I'm going to ask, I've read the resolution. Kelly sent it out last night, and you will have hard copies of it. That was a good thing on her part to send us hard copies of it as well. Have you all had a chance to look it over? You have, Tracy, John, you have too. Okay. Then I'd like a motion to, or Kelly, do you have anything you want to say about this?
No, like you said, this is pretty standard. It's pretty much what we have approved in the past. And it just allows for staff to do that preparatory work, just as it says, inspecting, sorting, verifying, performing a duplication, for instance, with our military and overseas. But nothing is finalized. It's still all brought to you, the board, and it explains that there's still the final approval done at the board meeting. It just allows us to kind of take care of some of that preparatory work, so that when it comes to you, it's in a better place for you to make that decision on approval or not.
Okay, I'd like to just make just a quick statement of clarification for this too. This is a matter of routine for this board. And just to remind anyone watching, everything we do is guided by state statutes, and this is one of those things. We basically, the short version of this is we're giving staff permission to literally handle the absentee ballot review process and the processes that precede the general election, or any election for that matter. But this resolution will go to the end of the year, to December 31st. The only thing that is a caveat in this resolution is that we do not give up our quasi-judicial functions to staff. We never do that. And so that comes into play if there is a challenge or a protest following an election, and there would be hearings in that regard. So basically, that's what this document is all about. I'm going to spare you all reading the whole resolution, but you can get a copy of it here at our office, and it's not a problem to see it. There are no surprises, I can assure you that. I'd like a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second? Second. Okay, it's been, we have a motion to approve the resolution. Is there any other discussion or any questions that anyone has? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right, the resolution is approved. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the resolution of the Dare County Board of Elections schedule of absentee meetings for the November 5th, 2024 general election. Kelly, do you want to go ahead and lay this out in terms of detail?
So we had already had some discussion, I believe, about the absentee meetings. And this is also a time that has been followed in the past. I think it will work well for us. No one wants to be here after 5 o'clock. And as these run into early voting times, the early voting sites are wrapping up. I would prefer to be in the office closer to the end of the day when the numbers start coming in and things like that. So 3 p.m. is a good time. I see on this schedule here, I can already tell you that there's an error on October 8th. That should be 3, so I will fix that. I'll fix that. That should be 3 p.m. And so all of the times are 3 p.m. until we get to even the day before. So the pre-election meeting is also at 3 p.m. When we get to election day, that is where we actually count what the statute is called counting, but that's where we close that absentee poll and we print the tape. So by statute, that's done at 5 p.m. Now, if there is an option that you would like to do that earlier, you can do it between the time of 2 and 5, but it needs to be done by resolution. That was something that was done pretty standard in the past, but since the Senate Bill 747 now requires that we close the polls for the early voting machines at 7:30, the earlier we have this meeting, the more time we have in between you having to come back to do the 7:30 closing of the polls. So if we had it at 5 p.m., and I don't have that 7:30 meeting on this schedule because this pertains to absentee only. But you'll have your schedule that shows that that meeting is also, and it's on the website, that at 7:30, we will close the polls for the early voting machines as well. So for anyone watching, so at 5 p.m., you will have a meeting, you will close the absentee polls, you will complete the abstract, but we will not release those numbers until 7:30. And that's, by statute that they don't come out. But then if there is time, you can recess, and then you will come back to your meeting at 7:30. If the board is fine with that, I think that's the best plan.
Yeah, so this vote doesn't pertain to the dates of those meetings. It pertains to the time.
Well,
of
the time
meetings.
and the dates, but the dates are set. So all of these dates are, you're right, they're set.
I just want to be clear about
With
that.
the
too.
exception, they're set by the state, by statute, with the exception of the last meeting. That is the supplemental absentee meeting. So that is any ballots that are received after 5 p.m. the day before election up until 7:30 election day. Those are not tabulated until the supplemental meeting. And that is where also this resolution allows for by statute that we can set one more meeting so that we can take care of those extra ballots that may come in. There may not be any, but there is a very good chance that there will be. So we'll need to tabulate and count those ballots, and that will be done in the supplemental meeting. So that was the date that the staff chose, and that is the time. And it's set at 10 a.m. I don't have an ending time for that because that will also be the day that we will review the provisional ballots. Instead of having you come back for multiple meetings, we've always combined that meeting with the provisionals. So, potentially it could be kind of a long meeting, but we'll do the absentee portion first. So you would review, approve, and tabulate, and then close the polls on the supplemental absentee. And then that count will be added to the election day totals prior to canvass.
Okay.
So that's how we'll take care of that. So you're approving all these meetings and these times. And then you may also conduct any other business transacted, and that is also in this resolution. For instance, if there was a poll worker situation that we needed to address, that could be done at that meeting as well.
Did you say we're approving the August meeting?
No, you're approving these times.
Right.
And dates.
Right, that's what, okay, just to be clear. All right, so as far as board action here, we're going to look at approve the time. We have done we've had 3 p.m. be the time for the reasons that she outlined, so that we keep it within the workday, and their staff isn't here after work hours, and we still can get it done in an efficient manner. So with all that said, is there a motion to approve the times for the absentee ballot meeting?
I make a motion to approve.
Pardon me?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 3 p.m. time of the absentee ballot review meetings for this general election, November 5th. Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to suggest that we clarify with respect to the supplemental ballots, the provisional and supplemental, that the deadline to receive absentee or supplemental ballots is actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that would be November 5th at the close of the polls, correct?
That is correct. November 5th at 7:30.
That's our deadline to
Yes.
receive any ballot
Yes,
or legal vote.
Right. And so those ballots, we'll take care of them at the supplemental meeting, but they do have the deadline of Election Day. And so so what gets reviewed at the supplemental ballot is anything that comes in 5 PM the day before, after 5 PM the day before through 7:30 PM Election Day.
Thank you for that.
All right, are there any other questions or comments? All right, let's go ahead and vote. Those in favor of approving the times of the absentee ballot review meetings for the general election, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, so the times are set. Next item on our agenda is the director's report. Kelly?
Okay. Okay, so we've already introduced our new deputy and our admin. So I'll start off by talking about the conference that we just attended. So August 4th through the 6th, myself, board members Tracy Swain and Randy Finninger attended the summer conference. It was held in Greensboro. The title for the conference was Bring It. And there was focus made on our voters needing to bring it in terms of bringing photo ID to the polls, but also for election officials, all of us, that we're held to a standard that requires us to bring it each and every day, but especially for the upcoming election. Karen Brinson Bell, and she is the executive director of the North Carolina State Board of Elections. She did say that this will likely be the largest and perhaps most stressing and taxing election of our professional careers. So that resonated with me a lot, that we really do need to bring it. We need to all be focused and prepare for the next 3 to 4 months. That this really needs to be a top priority, that we are, staying on top of what is coming up and, read our numbered memos, read our books, but also look at the master calendar. I sent everyone a copy of that. Make sure that you look at those dates. There's statutes that are attached to those, each one of those dates, so you can kind of see what your role is, whether it's staff or board member. And then also to be prepared in your personal lives for the calendar so that you can make arrangements to be here. We were also briefed on some new laws, and some of it was things that, we were already putting into practice. One of them being that they stressed that part of list maintenance has been that we run reports monthly. So that would be people that were deceased, and that's a report that comes from the Department of Health and Human Services, the state and the county level. We also we get reports for felony removals. And this new Senate bill has also required that we run those reports weekly now. So we are doing list maintenance more often. We're doing it weekly, where we are removing potential duplicates if need be, after research, of course. Everything is done with research. We are removing per reports. And so that is the reports from the Health and Human Services. It's also death certificates from the Register of Deeds. And then we are removing felons, or at least starting the process with the felons. We don't actually remove those. We send letters. The system sets a clock that allows for someone who got a letter that said, we've been made aware that you have been convicted of a felony, and that and because of that, you're ineligible to be registered. And it gives them time to, if they want to, dispute that, they can in writing. And so we're doing that weekly now. And there were some other updates, but that one was kind of the most important as far as staff duties. So moving on, the first set of absentee ballots is set to go out September 6th. And the first absentee board meeting will be October 1st at 3 p.m. This is also the meeting where the board will appoint chief judges and judges for early voting. So we will have to have a closed session as part of that meeting. The office has a wellness check that's scheduled for September 16th. This is where the field support specialist for Dare County and someone else from the state will come in. We've been told that this is a policy and procedures audit, but it's geared at providing the state with time to share the expectations that they have for me, and as well as helping us have a healthy Board of Elections department. And then they also want to hear from us if we have any questions or concerns. But they've submitted a checklist that I'll have to go through. They will look at how we conduct things in the office and just sort of help us get a uniformity with everyone else across the state, and see how we're doing and see where we can improve. So that will happen in our office at 11 a.m. September 16th. So Dare County Board of Elections is planning to have LNA testing on Friday, September the 27th, beginning at 10 a.m. That's going to be in room 168. And that is where we will test all of the equipment and get it ready to go out to the precincts for the election. So most of you have participated, or some of you have participated in that. And so for board members that haven't, I do encourage you, if you can, to come. It's a great experience. It allows you to see from start to finish how we set up the machines. We get the coding on. We have ballots that we test. We run results. We upload those results. And then a few weeks later, we'll have what the state calls a mock election, where they actually ask us to upload those results the same as we would election night. So we basically do a start to finish run of the process that we will be doing on election night. And so it's good practice for us, but it's also good for, it's open to the public, so people can come and witness that process, but also the board gets to see and handle the machines and see how they work and how we test. Early voting. Early voting begins October 17th and ends November 2nd. We have 3 sites: Kill Devil Hills Town Hall, the Buxton Fezzen Center Annex, and then here at the Dare County Board of Elections office.